When you buy a connected TV campaign, you're paying for a very specific experience, a high-definition commercial playing on a massive screen in a household. But large advertisers are being ripped off at scale. They pay premium prices for that living room experience, only for the ads to run in environments that legacy reporting tools are designed to ignore. This is the reality of CTV that's not CTV. To find the truth, we have to look past the high-level summaries provided by the platforms. We need to examine the raw data logs directly using forensic tools like FouAnalytics to see what is really happening. We're going to trace the specific ways these campaigns are hijacked, starting with deceptive placements and ending with ads that exist only as lines of code on a server. The high cost of CTV is only justified if the ad reaches a premium environment. When that environment is faked, the advertiser loses the very value they paid to secure. Deception often begins with a practice called audience extension. Direct buy sellers quietly shift up to 80% of your impressions onto cheap mobile apps and websites without disclosing the change. We can verify the actual physical location of these ads by checking the ASN, the name of the internet service provider. A legitimate household TV should trace back to a residential cable modem. This chart compares expected residential providers against the reality of a compromised campaign. Instead of home networks like Comcast, we see thousands of impressions running through mobile wireless carriers like T-Mobile and Verizon. A mobile IP address might still reach a human, perhaps a child watching a streaming app on a tablet in the back of a car. But a tablet in a car is not a big screen in a living room. Does a mobile view deserve the same premium price as a high-impact household placement? The fraud becomes more aggressive when we look at how ads are actually rendered on these non-TV devices. Bad actors force full-screen commercials into tiny, muted 300 by 250 display slots on cluttered websites. They report a 90% completion rate because the tracking pixel is rigged. The complete.gif fires immediately, telling the dashboard the ad finished before being seen. When scammers control the tracking pixels, legacy completion metrics are essentially useless. The data is being manipulated to validate the theft of the budget. We eventually reach the final stage of fraud, outright fabrication. In this scenario, the viewer and the TV do not exist. Most CTV ads use server-side ad insertion, or SSAI. Here, the ad is stitched into the video stream at a data center before being sent to the viewer's home. This chart shows an ad's IP routing chain. A real ad must eventually reach a household residential IP. In fraudulent campaigns, this residential IP is entirely missing. Every node is just a data center server, proving the ad never reached a real home. This happens when supply sources claim to have CTV inventory, but actually possess no legitimate connection to real television screens. Forensic analysis reveals that up to 61% of impressions in these campaigns have no detectable source. The money is being spent on placements that cannot be found. At this level, advertising budgets are simply consumed by bot scripts that fabricate bid requests out of thin air. Advertisers who chase the cheapest possible prices on open exchanges are often subsidizing their own robbery. The only solution is to stop trusting vendors to grade their own homework. You have to verify the investment by looking at the raw logs. With raw data, you can block fraudulent supply sources, restrict your campaigns strictly to connected TV devices, and demand refunds for ads that never hit a screen. You should see the data for yourself. Use a tool like FouAnalytics to verify that your CTV ads are actually reaching the living room. When you can see the raw reality of the data, you have the power to stop the fraud and ensure your budget is actually working.